Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Sabira, aka Sabythesimmer. Happy Tuesday. So I decided to create a base game home. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen to show you what my reference was. But I struggle to do base game builds, especially now that I have more packs. Like when I didn't have as many packs, you kind of get used to doing base game builds, and I play a lot of base game on my laptop, so I do a lot of base game builds just to play in. But I don't actually like create base game builds and then share them on the gallery. And I mean, not share them on the gallery, share them on YouTube. I share them on the gallery, but not on YouTube. So I thought I would do a shell because I haven't done one in ages, and I felt like if I'm going to do a base game home, I think the struggle comes when it comes to furnishing. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could have used this, but it's from a pack, it's from this pack. So I decided to just make a base game shell so you can do whatever you want with this space. I really like how it turned out in terms of the interior. The exterior, I'm not sure about. I'm still not sure about. But hopefully you guys like it. I've started off with just copying out the floor plan that I saw online and the kind of just exterior. I basically always just follow the floor plan, and that's how I work based on the floor plan. I kind of look at how many tiles wide the space might be. So if there's a hallway, I might think, okay, that looks like 2 tiles wide, and then I'll do it that way. And then things get moved around as I'm building or as I'm putting things together, just because it needs to make it more sense. And that's normally how I just put together a shell or a build anyway. I just look at floor plans, because trying to build without looking at a floor plan, I've found is actually really hard. So I mean, if it's just like a really simple build, it's okay. But like most of the time, I just struggle with floor plans, so I just look for floor plans. If you can hear birds chirping in the background, apologies. But I like to have my window open. It's been really nice and sunny and bright in London at the moment. And considering it's been so dark, gloomy, cold. I mean, it's still cold, but it's just really bright. So I've just been opening my windows, opening my curtains. I always open my curtains, but I've been opening my windows a lot more. Just to let some fresh air blow through my room. I think it's important, especially because I don't always go out a lot. I don't leave my house. So just getting some fresh air in my room and just like airing out my room a bit helps. But yeah, I hope your Tuesday is going well. How's your week been so far? My week so far, I mean, it's not been bad. I had therapy yesterday, so my therapist was like, it's the first time you've said you've not had an up and down 2 weeks. So I was like, yeah, that's true. Because normally when I go into therapy, she's like, how's your week, your 2 weeks been? Because I see her every 2 weeks. And I'm normally like, it's been a bit up and down. So she picked up on the fact of like, oh, it's a little bit different. What changed? And I'm like, I don't know what changed. I have a bad habit of saying I don't know, instead of actually just giving myself the grace of being like, maybe I do know and I'm just afraid to say it, or I feel uncomfortable saying it out loud, whatever the case may be. But it's not a case of I don't know. It's more of a case of like, maybe I do know and I'm just feeling a bit uncomfortable about it. But anyway, I think what it was, now in a bit of reflection, yesterday therapy was just a bit intense, so I felt like my thoughts weren't that clear. I was just very emotional and I wasn't sure where the emotion came from. And even my therapist was like, where's the tears coming from, whereas like the kind of upset feeling coming from, and I just couldn't really pinpoint it that much. But now in a bit of reflection, now I've like snotted it all out and cried it out. I'm feeling a bit more reflective. And I think what it was last week I did 2 streams, and one of the streams I tried out a new game and I had a few people like watch me do it, and I can't remember the last time I've like had that much fun. Like, no offense, because if anyone who knows me watches this, like if I've been around you, not to say I haven't had fun with you, but just like unfiltered, just fun, you know. And I'm getting older. I'm not the kind of person who has like age kind of goals, age related goals. I don't really have age related goals because I just don't see the point in it. It's kind of depressing. So in my mind, it's just, I'm aware that I'm getting older, and I'm aware of the things I want for myself and don't want for myself, and I want to have more fun. I don't want to be serious all the time. I've tried to be the kind of person who, I'm just very self-aware. I've always been, I think, but I've definitely become more self-aware since being in therapy for like, I've done therapy for about 3 years now, I think it is. Different types, but yeah, about 3 years. I've just become more self-aware of myself and aware of like, Sabrina, you take yourself too seriously. You're too worried about what people think about you. I might not always say it. I might not always be very vocal about it because I don't want to talk about that. But for the most part, I do care a lot about what people think and how people view me. And it has hindered me in some way, shape or form, which I'm sure people can relate to and people have experienced as well. So just like being self-aware, I'm aware that Sabrina, you take things too seriously, or you're so stressed out all the time. I remember I was speaking to a guy once, and he was just like, oh, I can't remember what it was that he asked me, but it was something like, how do you know when you're stressed? And I was like, I don't know when I'm not stressed. Like, I can't remember what the question was, but I just remember my response being a bit like, I don't know what it's like to not be stressed. Like, I'm always thinking, I'm always worried, there's always something on my mind. So recently, playing a bit more of The Sims, I'm allowed to just be lost in the game and just forget about everything, not stress. And I think the overwhelming sense of emotion kind of came from the fact of like, oh my gosh, I needed that. I needed that moment to just be complete, like block out everything, to just immerse myself in the game, to laugh at the game, to laugh with a few people as well, because a few people joined me. And just like, I think it was just that. I think it was a sense of like, wow, I really enjoyed myself. Plus, I think the emotion, the sad, I mean, I don't know if the crying was necessarily sad. It might have been, it could have been frustration. Excuse me, I'm talking way too fast. So now I'm like gasping for air. But I think that some of it was frustration because I don't allow myself to just have a moment. So I realized that, yeah, I had this great moment on stream and I was really enjoying myself, but it was quickly kind of like switched into like guilt of like, Sabrina, you shouldn't be having fun, you're supposed to be working on what you want to do with the rest of your life and figuring out how to move out and do all of these like big life things. Like, I obviously want to move out, I obviously want to live by myself, I'm very independent, and I know I need space for myself in order to just have a clear mind. I'm so easily distracted by everything going on around me. So I know I need space for myself in order to think clearly. I struggle a lot to just be able to think about myself or think about things that I need to do. Looking after myself, catering to my needs. Those are the things I struggle with if I'm around people or I'm just not in my own kind of bubble. So I know I need those things. So moving out isn't necessarily one of those things of like, oh, you know, I would like to. It's I know it's a need, but also at the same time, it's not something I can see happening right this moment. So then I kind of had to sit with myself and be like, okay, what do I do in that meantime? And I think for me, gaming gives me that sense of self. Like, I'm able to just be by myself, enjoy things, not necessarily by myself because I'm speaking to people, but just to like engage in things I enjoy, have fun, because I just don't believe I'm put on this earth to stress, to put on this earth to worry every minute, to be anxious all the damn time. I know I'm not put on this earth to do that. It's just part of my experience whilst I'm here right now, but I know that's not the be all and end all for me. I know this is not forever. I know the anxiety, I'm going to be able to control it better, not even control it better, but manage it better. I know that's going to be something I'm going to be able to manage better, you know, in the future, whatever the case may be. But I know generally I just don't expect to struggle, stress, worry all the time. I don't see it for myself. Naturally, I just don't feel drawn towards it. I'm drawn towards peace, quiet, silence, ease. I'm drawn to that as opposed to stress and problems. So I just know what I want for myself, and I just like reflecting now, I'm a bit aware of like why I was so emotional in therapy, and I think maybe also just having someone to talk to. I have a bad habit of keeping things to myself or just holding everything in my head and then not really saying anything, and then it kind of builds up to the point where I'm just like a crying mess. But it is what it is. I guess we just have to learn how to manage those things. But I'm trying to give myself a bit more grace in terms of like, Sabrina, you're noticing these things. It's good that you're noticing these things. It's good that you're aware of these things and you can do something with it. But enough about me. Let's talk about the build. So I've put the shell together now, and I did a pool. I've mentioned before on my channel that I don't normally give my Sims pools unless it's like Oasis Springs or like a big luxury home. Bearing in mind this is a big home, but the garden is tiny. So I don't know how the pool really fits in. I think it works, it's cute and whatever, but when I think practically, if someone has a pool, they tend to have like a big space around in their garden generally, and they have room for a pool and loads of different areas. But it's a sim, so I can play around with realism a bit more, but and just my own ideas of things. So I believe it's 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and then there's a spare room that can be used. It's like an attic room essentially that can be used for a bedroom, an office, whatever you want. But as you can see, I've done it kind of built into the roof. I always struggle to do rooms like this, like build a room in a roof. I always struggle in The Sims to do it. So I've tried to the other day build an A-frame home, and I really struggled to get the size and right and everything like that. I've done it before, but for some reason I just struggle so much. So I'm gonna have to look at my other A-frame home that I've done before and then see how I did that to see if it gave me a better idea of how to do it all. Because you got to put like 4 different pieces of roof, no, maybe like 5 pieces, like roof pieces together to get an A-frame home to like function, I guess, or to like work as like a room and not have like bits of the roof clipping and stuff like that. So it's a bit frustrating, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I've chosen several different windows for this home, and I don't normally do it, but from the reference image that I used, I kind of felt like some of the windows worked better in certain areas, and I think also just using different windows gives a good contrast. It also just makes it look a bit more interesting. Here I was trying to move things around just because I felt like the spaces were too big. I wanted to like close things in a bit more, and also wanted room around the pool. So I just ended up like shuffling this space around, and underneath the attic room is the garage. Also on this lot, this is opposite the roomies in Widow Creek. So I didn't realize if you see this on the gallery, you're not going to recognize this build in the gallery, because the gallery photo is from the side, and not the side where the garage is, but bear in mind it's the other side. So all you're going to see is like the pipe that I put against the bathroom and some landscaping. It's not going to be the cutest photo. And I tried to switch things around. I cut it out, but I tried to move things around. But I just thought, I really cannot be bothered. I really cannot be bothered to try and like puzzle piece everything back together again on the opposite way around. I just couldn't. It was stressing me out, so I just didn't. I felt like if you watch this video, you're going to be able to see it in its how it's meant to be seen, but if you see it on the gallery, you might be like, what am I looking at? So apologies to those who might have seen it on the gallery first and just been like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. But yeah, I'm sorry. I could next time I'm gonna bear in mind how the gallery takes the photo. I'm gonna do that instead. So we have a living area on the left side and a master bath. No, we have the living room area kind of in the center. This area here is the dining room kitchen area. Well, it's the kitchen, to be honest. And then behind the kitchen is a dining room, and then on the opposite side is where we have like the master bedroom. And what else is down there? I think it's another room that could be used as either a bedroom or an office, and also the attic room could also be used as a bedroom or an office, or whatever space you want it to be used for. I just wasn't sure what to do with it, to be honest, and I just felt like the idea of me trying to furnish all 4 bedrooms and things like, I just thought, no, it's too stressful. But I think I'm actually going to use this house for myself, you know. I don't know for what family I'm playing with that could use it, but trying to imagine the bills. I'm trying to imagine who would live there, and I'm like, it had to be someone who's got money. Originally, I was going to create a whole sim household for this build so that I can have them in the house, play around with it, but then I was like, actually, no. But I had in mind like this really famous author, and so they bought this home. It's their forever home. They've got maybe like 2, maybe 3 children, maybe. And yeah, I just felt like maybe a really well-known author could really benefit from having a big house like this, having their own room to work on their writing, and they probably have like a maid and a cook, all that kind of stuff, because they have the money for it. They're like, I'm trying to think of like a well-known author that everyone would know, but I can't really think of anything that comes to mind. I'm gonna watch this back and be like, Sabrina, there's so many people you could have thought of. But I couldn't think of it at the time. And I hate using anything above a short wall. I really don't like using medium or tall walls, but for this I kind of had to because I use platforms, and I find when I have to use but when I use platforms, I do tend to go in with a medium wall, at least just the medium wall. I can bear it just about. I had to itch my ear, and I don't know if you heard me like move my headphones. I hope not. I hope it doesn't pick it up, but it might do. Apologies for that. So I've done this little, what do you call this? It's like a covered patio area, and originally the stairs were going to come out to the back. As you can see, I've left it open, and then I kind of decided to close up the back garden because just for some privacy, I guess. And then the stairs actually go on the either side of that. One side has the monkey bars, I think they called. I can't remember what they're called, and some plant pots and a bit of like gardening and clutter, and then the other side has the pool and just space to do whatever you want with it. And then under the covered area, you can essentially just put a little table under there, because I pull this out a bit more so it literally comes right against where the fence line is, so there's enough space. It should be functional enough to have like a small table and some chairs there, maybe like a 4-seater kind of table and chair situation. I think that could work, just if you wanted Sims to chill outside. And I decided to change the fence. I just felt like I always use that base game fence, that really generic kind of like garden picket home fence kind of fence. So I decided to just go with something different, and I really like that gate that I don't use often, but I like it, so I try to use it as much as I feel like it fits in with the builds. And I won't lie, when it came to the landscaping for this, I didn't the plan was never to go this like full. I really wanted to go a really manicured, really like put together kind of vibe, but then it kind of ends up being just like wild, doing its own thing. I'm not mad about it, but it was just not what I planned. But as I was getting together, as I was putting things out of debug and putting these together, I was like, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. So there was that. I love putting out, like, this is just how I build on. I just love putting stuff out from debug and just putting it everywhere, and then figuring out where I'm going to put it afterwards. I actually end up deleting that kind of flowery thing that went across the back garden, because I just never know how to use it, but it looks so cute. I just want to use it somewhere. I just never know how to like get it to work the way I want it to. I tried to put the platform down and raise it that way, but it wasn't cooperating with me. If you are like a PC builder and you can use Tormod, you can probably get that to work for your favor, but for me, I just couldn't. I'm only on the console, so there's only so much I can do. I feel like my voice is going. I don't know if it actually is, but I feel like it is. So with the show, I actually semi-furnished it. So I only put in like a kitchen unit, and I finished all the bathrooms. The bathrooms I'm not really happy with. Like, there were such awkward spaces, and I can't even remember now what the floor plan looked like to even think about how maybe they set out the bathroom. But that's the only thing, when you're trying to copy a floor plan in The Sims, you just have to bear in mind what restrictions you might have actually in The Sims, whereas like when you're actually building, there might not be the same kind of restrictions, or you can like tuck things under a staircase and things like that. Like, I wish we could do that, like tuck a bathroom under a staircase. You kind of can, but not fully. Or like an understair kind of like storage, like cupboard, that kind of thing. Like, I want that. I want those weird things, not even weird things, but those common things that people just have in their homes. I want those. I want it. When I was streaming on Friday and I was continuing with a loft build that I started on stream. You can go and watch those videos. I think the first one times that in 4 days time. I think that was yesterday or today. I can't remember when I checked it, but I don't know if I have to be an affiliate or what the case is in order to change how long these videos stay up on my channel. I will have to double check that. I'm not sure. I'm new to Twitch. I'm new to streaming, so all of this is new to me. If you know, please do let me know. But yeah, I started building a loft the week before last, and then continued it last week. I'm probably going to end up finishing it this week in stream. We'll see, but maybe. I don't understand why I was talking about the loft now. What was I talking about? Why was I talking about the loft? Why can't I remember? I legit had to go back and figure out what the hell I was talking about and where my mind was going. But the reason I was talking about me building the loft on the stream is because we was talking about all the things that we want in Sims and stuff like that in terms of clutter. I really want a clutter kit. I just don't know what I would want in there to be included, but I definitely want a clutter kit. I think Mahogany Sims mentioned like glasses, or like even like glasses case, just little knickknacks, things like that, things that you can find in debug. Because I know you can find like a remote in debug, things like that, so that's cute to put on a desk, not a desk, a table, like a coffee table. But I just want more stuff to clutter the house with. I don't always clutter every single home. Sometimes I keep it minimal, sometimes I put a lot of clutter, but I just want the choice, the option. So we was talking about that. We was also talking about the new kit, the Carnival kit, which I think is coming out on the 3rd of February. I think so. I can't even remember now. And I think now that I understand it's based around like the Brazilian carnival scene, I kind of get it a bit more. Because when I heard carnival, I'm thinking of Notting Hill Carnival. If you're from the UK, you know what Notting Hill Carnival is. But I was thinking of that, or even the carnivals that happen in the Caribbean. So I just, yeah, sometimes I forget that there's obviously other carnivals in other places in the world. So I wasn't sure what to expect until I actually heard about it a bit more, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. And I can't lie, I'm very much going to get the kit. And I wasn't really for kits necessarily, or against kits necessarily. I understand that sometimes it does feel a bit money grab like, and it does just feel like, here, we'll give you this, pay for it kind of thing. But I only buy things that I want for my game, or I feel like I can use in my game. I know there's some people out there who want all the packs so that they have all the packs kind of thing. Some people like to collect things, so they want all the packs for that. Some people actually want to use all the gameplay, all the assets from the different packs. For me, I just buy things based on building. So there's a lot of the assets in the packs that I haven't even touched yet, because all I'm doing is building with them. Things like vampires, I'm only now playing through that, and I got vampires months ago. I still haven't touched spellcasters. I have the pack and I've not touched the actual gameplay of spellcasters. But for the build and buy is what I wanted it for, to be honest. I didn't want it for the gameplay necessarily, like mostly, but I haven't actually got around to playing it yet. I just feel like it hasn't fitted in my stories yet, so we'll get there. But yeah, the vampires one is pending. I'm gonna actually play with vampires. Let me know in the comments if you're actually gonna buy the carnival kit. Is it something you're interested in? Do you care about kits? I only want to know about this flipping game pack. I mean, it's Tuesdays and maybe we'll hear something, but I thought we just got news about is it Lunar New Year's? I think it's a Chinese New Year's, I believe, that they are celebrating. So correct me if I'm wrong. I only briefly saw the tweet. I didn't actually like read it properly, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. But I know that we're getting food, some like food in the Sims Express delivery thingy, whatever it's called. And there's a CC creator that they are working with to bring in some things as well. I believe it was a robe that I saw in the live stream, and I don't know what else, because that was basically like a surprise. But yeah, I love the fact that they're working with CC creators, because when I do play with CC and mods and things like that on my laptop with just the base game, it really does add, like, there are times where I have more fun on my laptop with just the base game, mods, and some CC. How does that work? And then I have all these packs on my console, and sometimes I don't even want to play, or I'm bored, and it's just so weird that that's the case. But I really do feel like mods and CC do help the game a lot. So I think working with those creators is definitely going to help the game in a lot of ways, because that CC and mods and everything like that is free. So yeah, I think the Sims are supposed to really kind of work on like working with more creators, and I think they definitely are. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see who else they work with and what else they bring in the game, because I think it's needed, definitely. I've finished kind of landscaping now, so I'm just adding some details. I decided to add in these. I was gonna add flower boxes on the windows, and when I did, I just didn't like the look of them, so I just went with these little caged, I don't even know, like window details. I never know what they're called. I should have checked the name, but I didn't. My bad. And then I think I go in with a roof in. Oh no, I've started painting the walls. Okay. I changed that window because I want to use it so bad. I've seen so many people make like a really traditional, or really just like not a modern loft kind of style home. I don't know what the style would be called, but they use that loft window that we got in the base game, and I just think it looks so good, but I just can never find a way to like make it work with my build, so I just haven't used it yet. Unless it's for an actual like loft build. I always use black tiles for the roofing, but it just goes with everything. I don't have to think about it twice. And I think the photo as well did have similar. I think it was more grey than black, but that's why I didn't go for the dark charcoal kind of black. I kind of went, not even charcoal, but I went with like a bit more of a subtle black. And I added in like the roof pieces to just give it a bit more detail. Like I said, I'm not sure how I feel about the exterior, but I'm pretty pleased with the way the garden turned out. I really like that area. I think it's cozy. I can see myself playing in it and having people around and hanging out at the pool. You got the children on the other side probably swinging on the monkey bars, that kind of thing, and the little planter pots doing that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I can see myself using it. And when I was looking back at this, I was like, Sabrina, why did I do the landscaping like that? I wish I kind of just done the hedges all the way around the back instead of like isolating it for just this area, because I think it just makes it stand out way too much. So I'm actually, if I do play with this house, I'm actually going to bring the hedges and put them all around the back, so it just feels a bit more natural, as opposed to just like, oh, we put the hedges there to hide the fence so that people can't see directly into the garden. But yeah, I've just landscaped under this tree, and I actually did something a little different today in terms of the voiceover. I've written a bit of a, not even a script, but just points that I wanted to talk about, because I just find lately that voiceovers have been hard for me to do, and I don't actually know why. So I thought I watched a simmer called, I believe it's Shan, so I'm going to put her details in the description and her name on the screen in case I get it wrong, but I believe it's Shan, and she does a lot of speed builds, and she mentioned how she did a little script, or just like points for the voiceover, and I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I love her voiceovers because she has a great mix of like speaking about herself, her personal life, and the build, and the inspiration behind the build, that kind of stuff. And I just think it's nice to get to know someone as well as see their creative process behind their build. So I hope you guys feel like this is a bit smoother. I feel like I've still said a lot and like maybe had a bit of a trouble remembering what the hell I was talking about, but I hope this is a little bit smoother just because I have some bullet points that I wanted to like touch on, or at least remind myself of what I'm supposed to be talking about whilst I'm talking about this build. Because sometimes I just get lost and forget, and then sometimes I'm like, oh wait, I've gone over the time and it's actually coming to the end and all that kind of stuff, and I've had to like record in several different parts. It's just a bit stressful when it doesn't need to be. So yeah. Funny story behind the little garden clutter. I was watching again Mahogany Sims the other day on stream, and she was like speaking to me on the stream. She was like, Sabby, where is the garden clutter? And I couldn't remember the name. She couldn't remember the name of it, but I knew what it was because I literally built this the same day that I was watching her stream. So I used it literally the same day, but couldn't for the life of me remember what the name was, because I don't actually pay attention to the name of certain items. I don't know if you guys do, but I don't. I want to know if you guys actually do. Do you pay attention to the items you use, especially the ones that you use a bit more regular? So like, if just the standard cutter pieces that you always use, how do you find them? I just scroll until I find it, but she had like all the packs, so it was probably a bit harder for her to see because there's a lot more going on. Whereas for me, I kind of know where it is when I scroll down. That's the only thing. When I do get more packs and things like that, sometimes I am a bit like, where is this thing I'm looking for again? Just because I get so used to like where certain things were placed in the first place. Not the plane going past just right now as I'm recording this voiceover, but I did say I have my window open, so I only have myself to blame for hearing that. I think the only thing I struggled with was like the weird shapes of the rooms. Like when it's a bedroom, I think it's okay, you can work it, but when it's like a main living area, that was a struggle. The kitchen was a struggle, so I ended up moving things around there as well. And the master bathroom, I believe, well, it's not even attached to the master bedroom, but it's just next to the master bedroom, or it's literally in the middle of the master bedroom, and then also the extra room that's at the front. And I had to record that bit again because my brother fell down the stairs and you can hear it in the background. He's not hurt, I don't believe, so he's fine. But anyway, yes, I put in the kitchen stuff so that I could give you guys an idea of how you can lay out the kitchen. But I actually struggled to actually do the layout myself. So I did end up shuffling things around because I tried to make a little hallway between the garage and into the dining area, the bathroom and the kitchen. So like it is all kind of connected, but I wanted it to kind of be out of the way. Because I find like a door into a bathroom straight from the kitchen a bit uncomfortable. I don't know why. So I tried not to make it completely connected. But in the end, I had to move things around anyway. And I can't remember how it goes. I think the toilet downstairs can be entered through the garage, which is a weird concept. But I kind of just saw it as maybe you can change it into like a washroom or the laundry room. In terms of like, you just, I say a washroom, but isn't a washroom just a shower room? I actually mean just a laundry room. You could just have a sink in there and your washer and dryer in there, and then that way you can access it through the laundry and through the garage, which, you know, makes sense. Some people have it in their basement. It's really dependent on however you want to furnish your homes. But I'm just making sure I add in the important things. A bin, a mailbox, because when I was building recently, and I'll get a save into player test things just to make sure everything functions well, there were so many times recently where I've brought the sim in and the letterbox is right in front of the front door, and I'm like, what are you doing there? Forgetting that I didn't even put one there, so the Sims automatically just drops one in your game, but it just ends up in the most random spot. I ended up painting all the bedrooms the same color. I tried to do them all different colors at first, and then I just felt like you guys would want to use the rooms for whatever you want to use them for. So I felt like it just might be better if you see the room as a really blank canvas and you can just put your own inspiration, your own creative ideas into it. So all the rooms are like a beigey color. And I actually really like the wallpaper shade, so I'm going to use it myself more often. I don't think I ever use it, but I like it. So I'm definitely going to use it. This might seem a bit odd, but I didn't know what to do with these areas because I needed to like box them off because they were like underneath, they were on top of like a room or a space, and I felt like if it wasn't there, it would just be an open hole or just a flat surface. So I tried to just add something into it. This house is, like I said, it's definitely for someone who's got money. If you're playing with like maybe generations, or you've got a couple of Sims in your household, this could work because then you have several different ways of making income. I can't imagine what this the bills could be, because just alone as a shell, it's like, I think it's 74k. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh my goodness. I can't for the life of me build a affordable home. I really can't. Not even a base game home. This is why I'm struggling so much to make a starter home, because I'm just like, I want to add in all these extra things, but you just can't. So bear with me. I am going to make a starter home. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I have seen this kind of like open kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's like a gallery kind of stairway before in so many different builds where you like go into my home and you see the stairs and you can see above the stairs, and like it's cut out on either side, so you just see the stairs as like that walkway. I've seen it in so many builds and never actually done it before, and now I've done it. I'm like, I'm actually gonna do them in all my builds. Or maybe not all, but I'm gonna do them in a lot of builds. So as you can see, I've used this like warmish, well, it's not even warm, it's quite cool. The tone is just like this beigey tone. I put it in all the bedroom spaces because I just felt like then that way you can just decorate it however you want. Because as you can see, I did all these different colors. I could have cut this piece out actually because I've just spoken about it. But I didn't get that far into it. Actually, that's a lie because I did the downstairs as well. But yeah, and I just added in a bit of the accent of the stone that I used for the, what do you call this thingy again? The fireplace. Yeah, I just remembered. It came to me in the end. I have to remind myself now that if I'm gonna furnish a bathroom, I need to just furnish one and show it, and then the others I can just not film, because I filmed all the bathrooms, and the way I normally do it, if there's several bathrooms, I just copy and paste the same toilet into every room, but it means I'm jumping from room to room to room as I'm recording, so trying to cut it and just show you me finishing one bathroom was actually quite difficult to do. So I need to actually remind myself, if I'm gonna film myself finishing a bathroom, to just show myself finishing one, and then remind myself to record again, or to at least just record and then, you know, fill out the one bathroom. But it was a struggle to remind myself to do that. It's only when I come to editing that I'm like, oh, you made it harder for yourself. And it was a bit dim, so I just added a few more spotlights in the rooms just to give it a bit more of a brighter feel. And then now I'm gonna sort out the kitchen area. So I've kind of done a bit of an island, not even, yeah, a bit of a breakfast kind of situation, breakfast kind of island. I don't know what you would call it, but that's what I did. But where the you got that bay windows, you can easily add in a smaller dining table, maybe like a 4-seater, because behind the kitchen, like I said, is like the main dining room area. And I kind of like the feel of this. Like I like the idea of like you got your kitchen, you cook in there, and everyone sits in the dining room just behind. I think it's a cute idea, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a toilet and a sink in there, so just a half bathroom, and it is coming off of the balcony, the garage, which is, I don't know, it's not, it doesn't make much sense, but like I said, you could use it as a laundry room, and that makes a bit more sense. And it kind of, you can access the garage for the dining room, which again, I don't know if that makes much sense or if that's not realistic, but I just put it there. You can obviously just use the garage for whatever you want to use it. You can get rid of it, you can do whatever you want. Well, if you get rid of it, the attic bit goes, but honestly, do what you want. If you guys are better at building things and like figuring out floor plans and how to renovate homes and stuff like that, go ahead and do it. But we are coming to the end of the video. I'm going to show you kind of like the bird's eye view of the home so you can see the floor plan a bit better, and you'll also see some shots of some of the rooms. Obviously the rooms are just empty, so is it I don't know if it's very entertaining, but just for something to look at, I guess. So as we are wrapping up, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who subscribed recently. I see you, I appreciate you, thank you. And also, if you haven't subscribed already and you're watching this, please do subscribe for more speed builds and more Sims related content. And please do leave a like and a comment as well. I'd love to speak to you guys and hear from you guys. But until I see you on Thursday, enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.